Apple announced that Amazon Prime Video would be coming to the Apple TV, but no new version of tvOS was announced. They did announce a new version of watchOS, which is watchOS 4. It had some new watch faces, such as the Siri watch face, which has a Siri icon, and some widgets that are brought up by Siri based on what you usually do at that certain time. And it also has the kaleidoscope watch face, which you can customize by adding different pictures to it, and a Toy Story watch face with the characters from Toy Story. A new animation has been updated for when you complete your goals. The Activity app has been updated to give you notifications and monthly challenges. The Workout app has also had a redesigned user interface. The Workout app now has auto sets for the pool workout, so that it can now automatically detect when you are resting or how long your strokes are. Also has high intensity interval training option added. You can now listen to music while you are working out, built right into the Workout app, as well as the ability to swipe left to control the music and swipe right to start a new workout. The Apple Watch now has contactless interaction with workout machines, as well as a redesigned music app and a new news app. It also has the ability to vertically scroll through your apps and give you notifications, such as you have to take a 16-minute walk to complete this ring. And it also has some new APIs. Apple also introduced the new macOS High Sierra, which is the successor to macOS Sierra. It has a new version of Safari, which is 80% faster than Chrome. It also has autoplay blocking and intelligent tracking prevention built into Safari. The new Mail app has the ability to search your top hits using Spotlight Search, and has full screen split screen view, and it also takes up about 35% less storage. Photos app has also been updated. It has a new user interface, some new filters for what pictures are shown. It also has an updated facial recognition and some new editing tools, as well as the ability to directly import from professional editing programs such as Adobe Photoshop. High Sierra has the new Apple file system, which should be a lot faster than the previous HFS, as well as the new H.265 video encoding, which should offer 40% better video compression than H.264. The Metal 2 graphics API has also been introduced with up to 10 times better call throughput. It also has some better debuggers and performance assessments, as well as some enhancements for machine learning. Metal support for external graphics and VR has also been added. SteamVR and Unreal Engine 4. Apple has introduced new iMacs. They have a maximum screen brightness of 500 nits instead of 350 nits, which is 43% brighter. They also have 10-bit dithering. The new iMacs also have the new Intel 7th generation Kaby Lake processor. There is twice as much maximum RAM now, with up to 32 gigabytes on the 21.5 inch and up to 64 gigabytes on the 27 inch. 27-inch models now come standard with a Fusion drive. These Fusion drives come in up to 2 terabytes and have up to 50% faster SSD. Apple now has 2 USB Type-C ports that double as Thunderbolt 3 ports on the new iMacs, while keeping the USB Type-A ports, headphone jack, SD card slot, and Ethernet port. However, Apple's main focus on these new iMacs was actually graphics. The iMac 1080p comes with the Intel Iris Plus 640 internal graphics with 64 megabytes of EDRAM, which should be up to 80% faster than the previous model. The 4K iMac comes with discrete graphics standard, the AMD Radeon Pro 555 or 560, and is up to 3 times faster than the previous model. The 27-inch 5K iMac comes with the AMD Radeon Pro 570, 575, or 580, and is capable of up to 5.5 teraflops. Apple has introduced a minor refresh to the MacBook. There is now a 50% faster SSD on all MacBooks, and faster standard graphics on the 15-inch MacBook Pro. The non-Touch Bar MacBook Pro has also had the price lowered from $1499 to $1299. Apple also introduced a new professional desktop, which is actually the iMac Pro. It should be coming out in December. It comes in a new space gray color, and it has 2 fans. The most basic model comes with an octa-core Intel Xeon. However, it comes with up to an 18-core Intel Xeon, 128 gigabytes of 2666 megahertz ECC memory, dual SSD modules with up to 4 terabytes of 3 gigabyte per second storage, 4 Thunderbolt 3 ports, a 10 gigabit Ethernet port, a UHS-2 SDXC card slot, and a headphones app. Apple also introduced the new iOS 11. In the new iOS 11 Messages app, your messages are stored in the cloud so they don't take storage on your device, and you can also delete messages after they are sent. You can make person-to-person payments through messages using Apple Pay. iOS 11 has a redesigned Siri interface and new voices for Siri. You can now type into Siri, and Siri can also do translations. Apple has also made some new APIs available for Siri. The Photos app has new methods of compression, HEVC and HEIF, both of which should offer 2 times better compression. There is now a Depth API for the iPhone 7 Plus's dual camera. There are now new options for editing live photos. You can trim the clip, you can select a different key photo, and you can also mute them. There are also effects created using machine learning, such as loop, bounce, and long exposure. The control center has been completely redesigned. It has had some new options added to it, such as volume controls, and it also only takes up 1 page. It is now customizable, so you can change what settings are in the control center, and you can also 3D touch on things to get them to go to full screen. The notification center is now integrated with the lock screen. It can still be accessed with a swipe down. You can also access your widgets with a swipe to the left, and your camera with a swipe to the right. The Photos app has also been upgraded with memories, and it can now detect activities such as scuba diving, anniversaries, growing up memories, and memories of your pets. It can also play memories in landscape or portrait now instead of just landscape. iOS 11 can now detect your interests based on what articles you're reading in Safari, and display news articles based on those interests, as well as detecting vocabulary from those pages, and suggesting in your quick type suggestions. Apple Maps now has detailed floor plans for malls and airports. It has the ability to search them as well as browsing by floor. It also has lane guidance and speed limits. A new feature called Do Not Disturb While Driving has been introduced, which blocks all notifications while driving. If somebody texts you, it sends back an automatic reply that says that you have Do Not Disturb While Driving turned on. They can also text urgent if it is an emergency. While you are driving, it shows a notification that says you have Do Not Disturb While Driving on if you try to turn on the phone. But if you are in the back seat and aren't driving, then you can 3D touch on this and say, I am not driving to get through. Speaker controls have been added to the Home app, and it also has multi-room audio so you can control different speakers in different rooms separately. iOS 11 introduces AirPlay 2. It also has an update to the Music app that you can see the music that your friends are listening to, and you can share music that you're listening to with an option. There is also a Music Kit API for developers. The App Store has been upgraded. It has a new icon. It has also been completely redesigned. It has a new Today tab with the App of the Day and the Game of the Day, as well as daily lists. And if you miss a day, you can scroll down to see stories from earlier this week. You can also go to different pages for these apps and games of the day. There is also a separate apps and games tab, and also a new purchase page with automatically playing videos and reviews on the same page. iOS 11 has a new Vision and Natural Language API, but it also introduces an AR kit for augmented reality. New iPad Pros come in 10.5 inches or 12.9 inches. The 10.5-inch iPad has a 78% screen-to-body ratio, so it was able to have about a 20% larger screen than last year's 9.7-inch iPad, while still being about the same size of a device, and also still weighing only about 1 pound. These new iPads come with new screens. Obviously, the 10.5-inch iPad has a bigger screen, but it is also still Retina with a resolution of 1668 by 2224. They also now have a max brightness of 600 nits instead of 500 nits, and they are both two-tone displays. They have a new feature called ProMotion, which is a refresh rate of 120 Hz compared to the normal 60 Hz. It also has a different refresh rate depending on what you're doing. It can be 24 or 48 Hz so that it can have better battery life. It has the new Apple A10X chip, which is a hexa-core chip, and it also has 30% better CPU performance and 40% better GPU performance than the Apple A9X. The new iPad Pro still have 10-hour battery life, and they also have the same cameras as the ones found on the iPhone 7 for the front and back, as well as the same quad LED flash. The new Apple Pencil has only 20 milliseconds of latency, and the new Apple keyboard comes in over 30 languages. Apple has also doubled the storage capacities on the iPad Pros to 64, 256, and 512 gigabytes. They have raised the price of the 10.5-inch from $599 to $649, and also the 512 gigabytes costs $200 more than the 256 gigabyte. On the iPad, iOS 11 has a new dock. It can hold up to 13 apps, and it also has the Next Up app widget built into the dock. The dock can be accessed from any app with a swipe up, and you can also drag apps from the dock into split screen view. You can also swipe up farther from the bottom to access the new app switcher, which keeps apps paired that are paired in split screen view, and it also has the control center built into the app switcher. Now swiping down on letters on the keyboard will allow you to access symbols and numbers, so you don't have to switch the keyboard screens. There is also now a Files app, which is a files manager. It has nested folders, spring loading, list views, favorites, search tags, and there is also a recent folder. It is compatible with many cloud service providers. It also has drag and drop, where you can also drag and drop multiple files at a time by pressing and holding on one, and then tapping others with your other hand to add them to the selection that you are moving. Now, when taking a screenshot, a picture will appear in the lower left corner, which you can click on and then edit with your Apple Pencil. You can also create a PDF of it. The new Notes app has many improvements. You can now get directly to it by tapping with your Apple Pencil on the lock screen. And once you're on it, you now have searchable handwriting, so you can use the Find tool from inside of the Notes app to find certain words in your handwriting. And you can also use Spotlight Search, which can search your handwriting. You now have inline drawing built into the Notes app, as well as a document camera. Apple also introduced the new HomePod speaker, which is supposed to be a combination between a Wi-Fi speaker and a smart speaker. So the new HomePod has a 7 beamforming treater with precision acoustic horns and directional control. It also has an Apple design woofer with automatic bass equalization and dynamic modeling. It also has the Apple A8, which is currently in the iPad Mini 4 and iPod Touch 6th generation. It is from 2 years ago, but it is still pretty powerful for a speaker. This gives it capabilities such as real-time acoustic modeling, audio beamforming, and multi-channel echo cancellation. It is also spatially aware, so it can detect how far away walls are from it, and it can bounce sound waves off of the wall behind it for ambient energy. You can also sync 2 HomePods together. The HomePod has a 6-microphone array for Siri, and it also only sends data to the Siri servers when you say, "Hey Siri," and it has local voice recognition for that. It has end-to-end encryption with Apple, and it uses an anonymous ID. You can ask Siri things about the music that you are playing. You can control smart home appliances, and you can also use it for things that you use it for on your phone. The HomePod costs $350, and it will be coming out in December.